Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to my May wrap up and June resets. I can't believe we're already at this point of not only the month but the year. It's the 1st of June as I'm filming this, and I'm so excited that the more months that go past, the sooner Disney's arriving, and also June is my birthday month and it's officially like summer now, so hopefully the weather will start improving. I have lots of fun activities coming up over the next couple of months and I'm just really excited for. But before we jump too far ahead, let's reflect on May, what I accomplished, some of the goals I set myself, because I'm aware that I haven't done one of these videos in quite a while, and that is fine because I wasn't really feeling them, and I'm very much like in this mindset now, whereas if I don't want to film a video or I'm not feeling a video, I'm not going to do it just for the sake of kind of keeping consistent across my channel. Like if some months I don't do wrap-ups, I don't do wrap-ups because I'm just not in the mood for them, and that's absolutely fine. I don't want to force content anymore. So I've missed a few months of these, but I am back because I'm excited to film one, so I'm here. So let's reflect on some of my May goals before jumping in to resetting for June. So I kept very minimal in my May goals because my main May goal, that's a tongue twister, was to start my workout program for the summer. I say I do it every year. I have attempted to do them the last couple of years, and last year was the first year I fully completed it because it's a 3-month long strength and conditioning program set by Sydney Cummings over on YouTube. I absolutely love her. It's all at home, it's all dumbbell kind of weight training, and absolutely love it. But it is 3 months intensive, 5 workouts a week, called Summertime Fine, and it very much is a changing your lifestyle more so than just kind of going through the motions of doing a lot of workouts. So I really dedicated myself to it last year, but I fell off the bandwagon a little bit in terms of like the nutrition, the sleep, the hydration, the stretching, the getting the steps in alongside doing all the workouts. So this year I really wanted to focus on not only the workouts, because I know I can do those, but to do all the things outside of the workout as well. So I'm going to build upon them. So in May, my first goal was to complete tier 1 of Summertime Fine, which I am on track to do. I haven't yet finished it because I start a week later, just to give myself some buffer if I need to skip days for rest days, etc. Because I do very much do intuitive kind of working out, I listen to my body, etc. So I'm almost finished with tier 1, and my focus for tier 1 was nutrition and portion sizes. Since moving out, Mark and I have very much eaten the same amount, and I have come to realise I do not need to eat the same amount of Mark. Even if I do get FOMO with the amount of food he's eating, I don't need that amount of food. So this month was all about portion sizing, getting back my kind of healthier habits with eating, and I've very much done that. So that was the first goal, and I'm proud to say that I have done it. I'm very much on track to completing the next couple of months of Summertime Fine, which I'm so excited about. It's my favourite workout program that I do every single year, and I'm excited to step into the next phase of it. A reading kind of goal I had for May when I realised in the end of Q1 that my daily reading count was dropping drastically. In January it was around 70 pages a day, in February it was around 60, in March it was around 50, in April it was around 40. So I've been slowly dwindling and reading less and less over the past 5 to 6 months, which I'm not happy about. I want reading to be a priority. I enjoy reading. I want to keep making it part of my daily routine, but I have definitely found that I'm not prioritising it enough. So in May I decided to try and up my daily reading count, and I upped it by a page. The other kind of like YouTube reading related goal was to finish prepping and designing and completing all of the background work. Magical Hopathon round 4. I can't believe it'll be the 4th round, but the 4th round is very fastly approaching. I'm so excited to host it once again. I think that's really why I'm getting my motivation back for YouTube content and reading, because Magical Hopathon is something that I absolutely, with my entire heart, adore doing, and the fact that round 4 is coming up really quickly, I'm so excited for. And the fact that even from like the middle of May, I was still not prepared at all to host this next round, and by the end of May I managed to kick my ass into gear and complete all of the redesigns, all of the updates, and all of the prompt changes and all of the rule changes, etc. I'm very happy. So I have completed that goal. I'm now fully ready and prepped to film that announcement video, which I'm going to hopefully do very soon, and then the readathon can be well underway, and I'm so excited. And my last goal for May was to edit my auntie's wedding video. She got married in April. So shamefully, by May, middle of May, I still hadn't edited her video. So basically, as my wedding gift, because I enjoy filming and editing, I decided to film the day for her and edit it all as like a little wedding present, and I still hadn't done it. So I said to myself at the beginning of May, I need to get this video edited this month, otherwise it's just going to be dragging on forever. And like, I'm proud I did it, but I edited it all yesterday on the 31st of May. So I did get it done, but by the skin of my teeth. But I'm so glad it's done, and I'm so happy with how it's turned out. I really hope her and her husband absolutely love it. It's crazy to say her husband because they've been together for 20 years and they've only just got married, so it's crazy to call her her husband rather than her partner. But yeah, I'm so glad that's done, and I'm going to show my family when I see them all for my birthday next weekend, which is crazy. My birthday's coming up, so June should be a really good month. So I'm proud of what I've accomplished in May. I definitely feel like my main focus over the next 3 months will be this workout program, because I want to be in the best shape physically and in the best mindset mentally, ready to go into the next phase of my life. And that deadline is basically Disney, which is in September, and then it's very much a life change for me and Mark. I'm not going to go into detail. If you know me personally, you know kind of the journey I'm about to embark on, and Disney's like this big hurrah before life changes drastically, hopefully. Fingers crossed if all goes smoothly. Because of my chronic illness, I have to start prepping now, which is why over the next couple of months all I'm going to be focusing on, which is going to be 90% of my time and energy, is on this workout program, so I can be in the best shape possible for my future self, which is very important for me right now. So I'm happy with what I've accomplished in May. It was a very small kind of like checklist bar the workout program, but I'm happy I did focus mainly on that because I'm feeling so much better already, and I cannot wait to see where I am in a couple of months time. But the amount of attention I'm giving it may be the reason that my reading and my book consumption etc has dropped a little bit. I read a little bit in May, but not as much as I would have hoped. So without further ado, let's go down to the floor and discuss all the books I read in May. So in May I read a total of 4 books, 2 being on my new Kindle and 2 being physical books. So the first book I read in May that kind of got me out of my slump and was the reason that I brought a Kindle. I did a whole vlog where like buying a Kindle got me out of my reading slump, so I'll link that video up above and down below. The first book I read this month was The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. I read The Deal back in March, April, and really enjoyed it. I read that as an ebook on my phone as part of my Kindle Countdown series, and I knew I wanted to continue with it. I was going to buy all of them physically, and then when I impromptu decided to buy a Kindle, I realised they're all on KU, so I decided I was going to read them there instead. And I thought, what perfect way to read The Mistake when I'm trying to get out of my reading slump. They're fast-paced, easy books to read, and it very much did get me out of my reading slump. These are all kind of hockey-based college romances that follow different characters within the same hockey team. The Mistake follows main character Tucker, who's never had a girlfriend and doesn't realise that he wants a girlfriend. He just thinks he's pining over his best friend's girlfriend, who we meet and see their relationship in The Deal, and he thinks he just wants her when really he just wants a relationship. So it very much reminded me of the episode in Friends with Monica and Chandler when Joey starts dreaming about wanting to be with Monica when really all he wants is that closeness from a relationship. So I really enjoyed this one. I gave it a 3.5 stars. Just a nice easy book to kind of get me out of my reading slump, and I was like, oh my god, yes, I'm finally out of this reading slump. This Kindle has done its job. I was so excited. So I went straight into my next book, which was The Honeymoon by Kate Gray. This was an absolute whim when I brought it. I brought it with Chloe and Emily when I went book shopping with them and spent the weekend up at Chloe's house, so I'll link that video above and down below as well if you want to see all the shenanigans that we got up to. But I brought this one at a whim at a charity shop. I hadn't heard about it before, but it sounded interesting. It was only like £2 for like a near perfect hardback, so I was like, I'll just give it a go and see. I wasn't expecting to pick it up as soon as I did, but I really spent May mood reading, so I felt like I wanted to read it, so I gave it a go, and I actually really enjoyed it. I gave this one a 4 star, which I am shocked about. I do feel though, I'll say as a preface, that if you have read a lot of thrillers and a lot of mysteries, this will probably be very predictable for you. But for me, having not really touched that genre a lot and therefore didn't really know all the conventional plot twists and turns that a thriller can have, this one really did shock me, and it kept me on my edge of my seat. It basically follows 2 main characters told in dual perspective, which is always a hit for me anyway, so I kind of knew I was going to enjoy it because I love getting more of that character development when you do get both perspectives of 2 wives who are happily married, and they all meet when they go out to Bali on their honeymoons. So you follow Erin and you follow Sophie, and one night when it's thunderstorming in Bali, one couple sees a person get murdered, and you follow them as they end up flying back home and dealing with the consequences of knowing that someone got murdered, who's connected, who's done it, etc, etc. And I just really enjoyed the writing and the pacing of this, and it kept me at the edge of my seat. I binged the last like 200 pages in one evening when Mark was out of his mum, and yeah, I just had a really fun time reading it. So that's the next book I read, and I gave it a 4 star. I then was like, no, I need to get back to reading on my Kindle because I love it so much. So I picked up a book called A Song of Me and You by Mike Gale. If you have not been following my channel for a while, you know Mike Gale, I would say, is one of my favourite authors. I've rated 2 of his books 5 stars, so I do kind of count him as one of my like go-to favourite authors. And I enjoyed this one. Just nothing will ever beat that kind of like first book I ever read from him, which is Half a World Away. That is like one of my all-time like 6-star favourite books that I will always keep and cherish, and it's just an all-time favourite. And ever since, I've read his books and I've enjoyed them, but they haven't been all that like 5-star feeling-esque. So I enjoyed this one. It basically follows 2 main characters told in dual perspective, once again, of Ben and Helen. I remembered. Oh my god, I'm so proud of myself. Helen and Ben, and they were high school sweethearts back when they were like 18, and then when Ben has to move away from their hometown because of some family drama, he ends up making it as a really famous musician, and he ends up being the headline singer of this like world-renowned music artist of this band called Blue Light. And Helen and Ben have not been connected to each other for the last like 20 years because they're just on different circles. Helen ends up having a husband, having 2 kids, living that usual kind of like suburban life, and Ben is this like massive rock and roll star. And then 20 years have passed and Ben randomly knocks on Helen's door, and you have no idea why, and then you soon realise it's because Ben has had enough of the limelight and he wants to just kind of like disappear from the world. He's not doing very well mentally, and Helen kind of steps in, having just got divorced from her husband, to help out an old friend, and things start to rekindle between the 2 of them, and it's a story about those 2. And I enjoyed it. I had a fun time reading it, but it was nothing like special, so I gave it a 3-star. I love Mike Gale's writing style. I always find him really easy to read, but yeah, it wasn't my favourite Mike Gale, sadly, but I still had a fun time reading it, so I gave that one a 3 stars. And then the final book I read in May, or should I say completed, because I've read a lot of books in small sections, and I've DNF'd a lot of books in May, so maybe I'll do a little rundown of the books I've DNF'd in May as well in this segment, just so you can see that sadly I am back in my reading slump. This year has just not been my year for reading, and I really thought it was going to be when I started off the year so strong in January and February. But as I said, my main focus over the next couple of months is this workout program that I'm doing, and therefore I feel like that, because my main focus is on that, and so much of my time is being consumed by going for walks, eating better, hydrating, stretching, sleeping enough, and really focusing on like all of the aspects of this lifestyle change that I'm going through. Reading isn't a priority, and that is fine. Like, I never want reading to be this thing that I force myself to do, and at the minute it's just not the thing that I'm always wanting to do, because my attention is consumed by this other kind of really massive thing in my life, and that is fine. But I would like my reading pace to pick up, so hopefully June will be a better month. But off that tangent, the last book I read in May was a reread, and oh my god, it was such a fun time rereading this book. I reread Walking on Sunshine by Giovanna Fletcher. I first read this book as an e-arc on NetGalley in 2021, before this book even came out, and I said to myself I was always going to reread this book once it came out physically, and I never got around to it until now. And I thought on reread this book was going to be 5 stars, and it wasn't. It was a 4.5 stars. I just absolutely adore this book. This book basically follows 3 best friends who have sadly lost their 4th best friend. So it was like a little foursome of Pia, Zaza, Vicky and Mike. And unfortunately Pia has passed away from breast cancer, but in the wake of her death she leaves the 3 of them lots of different challenges and activities and deadlines to do, so they don't get kind of consumed with their grief, and all of these tasks and activities lead them on a trek to Peru to rediscover themselves. And what I love most about this book is you follow 3 perspectives. I think all these books have been dual perspective, which is chef's kiss, because even The Mistake was dual perspective on the male and female of the relationship. So yes, definitely a dual perspective month for me. But you follow all 3 of them because all 3 of them are going through at different kind of stages in their life. Zaza is about to get engaged, but she's very kind of like, oh my god, this is my last kind of time to explore and see if this is really what I want to do in life. And Vicky is a mum of 2 who's really lost her identity of who she was before she had kids. And then obviously Mike is following the journey of really having to grieve Pia and trying to move on from this. So you kind of get all 3 separate perspectives, and then also they come together and rally around each other to lift each other up. in the light of Pia's death, and I just absolutely adored this book. This book was so quick to read. I love Giovanna Fletcher's writing style, and I'm so glad I finally took the time to reread this book because I absolutely loved it. I gave it a 4.5 stars. And over the last week or so, I've dipped my toe in a lot of books that I have decided to DNF. The first one being Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I got about 14 pages into that one and I was just like, no, I'm not feeling it, that is fine. And then I got about 8 pages into The Invisible Library by Aviv Cogman, I want to say. This is a kind of like crime mystery about a secret spy. Wasn't feeling it, so I gave it up. I also got 108 pages into A Magic Steeped in Poison, and I'm officially giving it a hard DNF after it being on my TBR for a couple of years, having attempted to read it a couple of times now. I've given it a hard DNF this time. I've got 100 pages into it. It just wasn't for me. This is a YA fantasy book about the art of tea making and a young girl having to go and try and become the apprentice of this princess due to her skills of tea making to try and save her dying sister. So it could be a favourite book for someone else. It just wasn't for me. It was a fine book and I wasn't going to slog myself through a book that could potentially only just make a 2.5 to 3 star when I was already kind of feeling the slump, because this was the first one I tried to read, and then I tried to read The Invisible Library, and then I tried to read Love Theoretically. And then the last book I attempted to read was Summer at Comfort Food Cafe by Debbie Johnson. I'll put the cover up on screen because I was like, a woman's chick lit is definitely what I need right now. And I got about 60, 70-ish pages into it, and I know I'm gonna like it at some point. It just wasn't grasping my attention enough to like give myself the time to dedicate to reading. So I put that one to the side as well. And then it was literally the 31st of May and I was like, I might as well start my June TBR. So I started another book. And that one seems at the minute to have my attention. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we shall see. I can actually start reading again, but those are all the DNFs I had in May as well. Having completed and read fully 4 books in May, I am now 32 books into the year, and according to Goodreads, I am 11 books ahead of schedule. So seeing as it is coming up to the halfway point of the year, I thought it would just be fun to check in, do like a mid-year sort of like check-in with my reading goals. So let's hop into my reading journal. So before we jump into my reading journal, I just wanted to caveat that I'm not really vibing with my reading journal at the minute. I think it is because this book just doesn't lie flat. So it just is a real pain to actually draw in it, apart from the first like few pages. So I'm not loving this reading journal. I'm going to continue with it for the rest of the year, but after this, I think I'm going to once again attempt to do a mix between a normal bullet journal planner and a reading journal, just to try and fit everything that I need into one book, because I have too many journals. I have like 4 or 5 journals at the minute and it's just too much to keep on top of everything. So this will be the last time I have a separate reading journal because I just don't think it really works for me. And we'll just go through and I'll explain why. So I still love my cover page. I still love this reading book stack, even though I'm not really reading as many books as I thought this year. So I don't think I'm going to get to the bottom of this, but that is fine. Obviously I only read 4 books in May, so those are all the stacked books there. In terms of like checking on my reading goals, I'm definitely ahead of schedule on my 50 books. Like I said, I've read 32, so I'm definitely ahead of schedule. 11 books according to Goodreads ahead of schedule. My next goal is to find a new genre that I love, and I've definitely branched out into new genres this year, such as fantasy and thrillers. But I think I'm always going to be a romance girly, and there's no point trying to force other genres onto me. So I definitely think I've stepped outside my comfort zone this year, and I will continue to branch out into different genres. But in terms of like, I can't really track this one in your kind of like typical way of tracking, but I do think I'm on track with this one, if that makes sense. 10 fantasy, I've read 4. I'm definitely not going to be in a fantasy era for the next couple of months because obviously it's summer. It's romance books only, really, in my eyes. But maybe by the end of the year, I'll hopefully have this one completed. Completing my iBooks books will no longer happen because this whole challenge was to try and read all of my iBooks books before getting a Kindle. And now that I have said Kindle, I don't think I'll ever be going back to my iBooks books, which is what I kind of preempted, which is why I gave myself this challenge, so I didn't leave loads of unread books on my iBooks account. But at this point in time, I don't really care. So this kind of goal has become redundant, and that's fine. Like, you set goals at the beginning of the year for the entire year. When you change so much from month to month anyway, it's fine for goals to no longer suit your purpose and suit your needs. So I'm happy that I managed to read the amount that I did, because it definitely pushed me to read more iBooks books than I would have if I didn't have this goal, but this goal is now kind of redundant. 5 unknown books I have done. I can't remember which ones they were. I believe they were My Conan Only, The Partner Plot, maybe Friendaholic, New From Here, Betting on the House. I believe are all the books I kind of labelled as not known to BookTube, so that's that goal done. I am on track to read my 2-page Toon books, especially because her latest release, Seven Summers, I'm hoping to read in June because I'm seeing her speak about that book at the beginning of July, so I definitely need to get my 2nd-page book read this month. I read my Mike Gale just this month gone, A Song of Me and You. I still need to read a Lucy Diamond, but I won't be that fussed if I don't end up reading a Lucy Diamond, not gonna lie. And obviously in like February I completed my I Heart series goal, so that is fine. And I'm still keeping up with all my colour boxes. I'm just not colouring in many at the minute because I'm not finishing many books at the minute, which is so sad. On to my next page. I am so sad at how much yellow is in this chart. Like, yellow is not a good colour, as you can see. And at the beginning of May I had a massive slump, and at the end of May I've hit loads of slumps, and every single month, to be fair, apart from January, I've had a slower reading pace at the end of each month. And I don't know what this pattern is, but I'm not enjoying this pattern, and I'm really hoping June will be the month that I kill this pattern. Even if I start off like really strong and then have a little bit of a lull in the middle, just to switch things up a little bit, I don't mind. But I'm fed up of seeing so many black marks and low coloured yellows on this page in Pixels, but I do like how it's coming along overall. I think it's going to look really cool once it's all completed, even if it is completed all in yellow by the end of the year. In terms of my physical TBR, it's at the highest it's ever been. It's currently at 46 books, which is a lot for me in my personal reading life, especially as I'm not reading many books at the minute. 46 will take me over a year to read at this point in time. But in May, it says 5, I read 4, I coloured it in wrong, okay, and I brought 5 books, some of them actually being on my Kindle, so I am tracking Kindle brought books as well now. But it seems like I either buy 5 books a month or 9 books a month, and it very much just really depends. There's no kind of trend or anything that I can see yet. I guess the more books I read, the more I buy, maybe, I don't know. But then in February I read 8 books and I only brought 5, so it really just does depend on the month, my mood, and what I'm currently reading. But no kind of trend there yet, but I am enjoying kind of tracking it. I am well underway of completing my 2024 TBR. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books left, so hopefully I can get that done by the end of the year. I'm happy with how my social media tracker is coming out. I am slowly increasing my YouTube subscribers each month, which is really, really exciting. And I am increasing my followers every month, but this was the first month I didn't gain any or lose any. So I guess that's progress in some some way. And the way I'm going to use my journal from now on just to get myself through the rest of the year is I'm still going to do my movies. I'm still going to do my TV shows because I'm loving how my TV shows are coming out. Currently watching Dark Matter on Apple TV. If you read Dark Matter, it's very different, but I'm still enjoying it. It took a while for me to get into that. I'm still using my Walt Disney World countdown, less than 100 days to go, whoop whoop. And I loved this journal at the beginning. I thought it was turning out so pretty. I was like, oh my god, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed, like this is incredible. And February was the same. I was like, yes, yes, look how pretty it is. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And then March rolled around and I was still reading a lot, but I had a dud page, and then I stopped printing out the pictures, and it's a slow downward spiral from here. I just about managed to get April in check, and it turned out nice here. And then I did all the reviews, but I once again didn't print out the pictures. And then May was where I really fell off the bandwagon. I read like nothing, as you can see. I'm surprised I actually read 4 books in that span, to be fair, but I did. Hey ho. I didn't touch my TBR whatsoever. And then I did do my doodles, but I haven't done any reviews, and I don't think I can be bothered to do reviews. I'm not in a reviewy book mood at the minute, so I don't think I will be reviewing books for the time being. This is my June spread that I set up this morning, because if I don't set it up today, I will never set it up, and it is June 1st today. And because it's my birthday, I thought I'd do cake and balloons as this theme. So that's kind of how this page has turned out, and I haven't drawn anything else. I haven't drawn a red page, I haven't done any reviews, because I'm just going to go with the flow. And if I just have June as this spread, I'm not going to complain. I'll be proud of the fact that I've managed to read something in this month, let alone actually being creative and doodling covers and writing reviews. I'm just going to take it step by step. If I feel like it, I'll make the pages later on, but I'm not going to waste pages just for the sake of setting them up. So I've just set up this page. Hopefully I can keep on top with this page, and we'll see how we go from there. But I'm not loving this journal anymore, and I think it is because it doesn't lie flat, which drives me absolutely insane when it comes to filling it out. And I do think that is why I'm holding a grudge against this notebook. So that is my reading journal little update. But I did also set some goals in my Q1 wrap up recap review video, which I thought I'd just kind of quickly reflect on and see, because we're in our last month of Q2 now, whether I've kind of accomplished what I set out to do within Q2 in that Q1 video, if that makes sense. I'll leave that video up above and down below if you're interested in watching it. I just go through all of my stats and recap Q1, and a video for Q2 will be coming out soon, but I thought I'd just reflect on the goals I set myself for the intentions of Q2. Because I've got 1 month left of Q2, I thought if there's anything that I need to kind of kickstart or action, I'm reminded of those goals in this video. So one of my goals was to reduce my 2024 TBR more by reading about 5 books. I've read another 1 of those said books, and I only have 4 left on that TBR, and to be fair, 4 books for the rest of the 2024 season, last like 6 months, I think is doable, and I definitely think I can do it. So I'm gonna say I'm on track with that goal, and I don't need to pay too close attention to it for the next couple of months until like December, and I'll just read all 4 books in the last month. I don't know, who knows? But I'm on track so far for that one, so I don't need to worry about that one too much. The next one was to read 5 more books from my iBooks account, which obviously, like I said before, is made redundant now, so I'm gonna kind of like scrap that goal. The next one was to listen to more audiobooks. And I don't know about this one. I would love to be in my audiobook phase, but I'm just not. I'm more of an audiobook phase if I'm reading along with the book, i.e. my current read, I'm currently listening along and reading along in a physical book, because I think that's the only way that I can dedicate 100% of my attention to a book right now. So I have the narrators speaking in my ears whilst reading along on the book, and I am enjoying that experience so far. So if that's the way I have to listen to audiobooks, that is fine, because I know me, and when summer rolls around and it's blue skies and sunshine and I'm wearing my sunglasses in my car and I'm just having the best life, I want to be blasting music, especially country music, rather than listening to audiobooks in the car on my commute. And that's when I usually read or listen to the most audiobook hours, is in my commute to and from work. And I know in the summer I'm just going to want to listen to music, so I'm not sure how that one's going to go, but I'm just going to go with the flow. It's not really like a goal I can track, but I just hope maybe I get back into my audiobook phase a little bit more, but we'll see. And the last one was to read 1 more Page Tune and 1 Lucy Diamond to keep on track of reading like my favourite authors goal. And I will be on track with my Page Tune. As I said, her new book is already out and I need to read it before her and speaking about it at the beginning of July, so I need to read it in June anyway, so that'll be that goal complete. And then my last one was to read a Lucy Diamond, and I'm not sure if I will read a Lucy Diamond this year. If I want to, I will, but I'm not going to be too offended if I don't. I do love her books, but I'm not like in a real big rush to read her entire backlist like I was 6 months ago. So those are all my goals at the minute of where they are, where we're up to, if I'm on track, if I'm not. Those are all my yearly and kind of like quarterly goals, you could say. So overall, I do think I'm pretty much on track with everything, which is pretty much an accomplishment, seeing as I have been in so many reading slumps this year. I'm pretty chuffed with myself that I've managed to do as much as I have. So I can't complain too much, but having reflected on all of those goals, let's make some goals for June. And to end this video, say goodbye to May and welcome June. I thought I'd go through all my June goals. Once again, don't want to sound too repetitive. Once again, my main focus this month will be tier 2 of my workout program out of 3. So I'm almost halfway, which I'm so excited about. And as I mentioned before, May's focus was nutrition and portion size, which I do think I have under wraps now. I'm very much more conscious of the amount of food I'm putting onto my plate and in my bowl, because before it was a lot because I was trying to level out with Mark, which is not the way to go. And also just in terms of like my healthier eating habits, I'm definitely leaning less towards like the processed sugars and more of like the natural sugars, which for me is like a massive thing because I have such a sweet tooth. So I'm proud of myself for that. But I do think I've kind of built in that habit now, and I feel like I'm able to build in another habit. So my June's focus, along with doing all the things I've already started doing, is to add more stretching into my routine. I try and stretch at least once a week. If I can up that to 2-3 times a week, that would be amazing. Like full body 20-minute stretches that Sydney Cummings incorporates into her program anyway. I do always let fall to the wayside, so if I can start incorporating those more into my day-to-day habits and my routine, that would be ideal. So that's my kind of like focus within my Summertime Fine workout program for June. A really rogue one, and one that I'm actually really excited to continue and finish, is in June. One of my goals is to finally, and I say finally massively, finally finish my Disney College program scrapbook. I did the Disney College program in 2019. I had all of lockdown for like 2 years to finish this scrapbook and I never did it. Never did it. I got like 3 pages into it and then I just completely stopped. And other things took over. I wasn't really interested in completing it. I was like, I don't want to finish it anymore. But then just this past month during May, I've had the urge to go back and finally finish it. I think it's because if I take another Disney trip in the time span of still not having finished my scrapbook for my 2019 college program, like that is some serious issues right there. So I have to get this Disney College scrapbook done before I go to Disney World again. That's a rule I've made and I will hopefully complete it in June. I started re-looking at it and continue to scrapbook in it in May, and I'm going to continue that in June, and I'm going to finish it in June. I'm saying it here, I'm saying it now. I am going to finish it because I can't let this beautiful scrapbook go to waste. I designed this myself, inspired by Pinterest, just as a shout out. This wasn't a complete design by me, but I got inspired by Pinterest and I did this all the way back in 2020 during lockdown. I did this cover and I can't let this scrapbook design go to waste. So I'm here, I'm telling you now, I'm telling my future self, you next time I rewatch this video, you better have finished this scrapbook because I'm loving how it's turning out. It's just a case of completing it because it looks so pretty and I'm so proud of how it's coming out. I just need to like kick my ass into gear, dedicate the time to finish it and actually get it done, because even doing it now and putting more pictures in, I'm remembering more things about the program that I've kind of naturally forgotten. So it's so much fun to go back and reminisce on all the pictures and everything, and I'm just absolutely obsessed with how it's coming out. So I just need to get my ass into gear and finish it because I have a lot more pages to fill out. So that is my next major June goal. And my next one, based off trying to like up my daily reading average in May as one of my goals, in June I just want to complete my June TBR. There's 5 books on there, maybe more kind of like a 6 because I need to read 7 Summers, which didn't make my June TBR. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up and down below, but it didn't quite make my official June TBR, but I still need to read it. So there's 6 books that I need to read in June. That is completely doable if I stick to my TBR, I don't move read, and I can stay out of this simmering slump that's about to happen once again. So there's 6 books for my June TBR. I'm really determined to read all of them. 2 of them are rereads by Ashley Foston, so like there's no excuse for me not to complete my June TBR this month. So that is one of my goals, just to try and keep myself reading, please. And then my last actual goal is to post on Instagram more. I've got so bad at even just updating my stories at the minute. I feel like I must be in some sort of like creative burnout because like completing my reading journal is an absolute stretch. Completing my scrapbooks are a massive stretch at the minute. Like I don't even want to scrapbook. So I think I must be in some sort of like creative burnout because I'm really not feeling scrapbooking at all. And that is kind of like translating down into posting on Instagram clearly. So I want to try and post a little bit more on Instagram. I want to sit down and kind of figure out a little bit of a schedule, get that kind of sorted. And then the goal I've put in my planner is to post 4 times across the month. And I don't even care if that's 4 stories. If that is my kind of like little bridge into getting back into posting more consistently on Instagram, 4 stories across 1 month is completely doable, Rachel. You can do this. So that is my last goal for June. Once again, I'm keeping it really small because my main focus and 70% of my pie for June, can you say, is going to be on that workout program and that new focus of stretching. And then I say 10% is on my scrapbook, 10% is on my June TBR, and 10% is on my Instagram. I think that's, if you want to think of it visually, that's kind of the way I'm hoping June is going to go. Put most of my attention into this workout program, and then the other little sections that I have in my life, I have room for 3 more things that I can give 10% each at, and that is my scrapbook, my Instagram game, hopefully, and my TBR. There's a few other things I want to get done in June that are kind of like more task-based, and one of them is to have fun on my birthday. I'm turning 27 this month, which is crazy. Like I'm so excited to turn into this next milestone because this milestone could be a really, really, really challenging but exciting one for me and Mark. So I'm excited to see where the rest of the year takes us. Obviously I'm going to Disney when I'm 27, so that's also really, really exciting, but also like a lot of other life changes could be happening when I turn 27. So I'm excited for that, but I just want to enjoy the moment, enjoy the day. Mark has it all planned out. I have no idea what we're doing, but I know it's going to be in London, so I'll definitely be vlogging it. And on the back of that, I want to take more pictures. I took barely any pictures in May, and I was looking back on like what some of my May highlights were, and all I could think of was the Cotswolds trip with my family for my grandma's birthday was so much fun, and we took lots of pictures there, which was amazing. I had such a fun time over the bank holiday. Getting my Kindle was a massive highlight for me. Going on more walks with Mark was a massive highlight, and being able to say that I've put my 110% into this workout program was a massive highlight for me as well. But in terms of like actually remembering what I've done in May, because I have no pictures, I barely took any pictures in May, and I want that to be a more consistent thing in June. So one of my like tasks is to take more pictures in June, hopefully, so I can actually remember all the fun things I do this month, even if they're really, really mundane. I want to start taking more pictures because I'm really bad at it. I'm great at vlogging, I'm shit at taking pictures. So hopefully that one can be done as well. And those are all my goals and tasks and everything that I want to get completed in June. Hopefully I can do it. I think it sounds doable, so fingers crossed. Let me know in the comments down below what some of your June tasks or goals are. I would love to know. Let me know what your favourite book of May was. Let me know of that as well down in the comments, because I need some book recommendations. Clearly my physical TBR isn't really inspiring me at the minute, so give me some book recommendations. What was your favourite book in May, etc. in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe down below to see future content from me. I do anything from weekly reading vlogs, monthly TBRs, monthly wrap-ups, monthly resets. Disney vlogs will be coming because I'm going in like less than 100 days. So exciting. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the fun, exciting content that is about to come, especially a Magical Hopathon announcement video that is coming in like 2 weeks or less than as you're seeing this, which is really exciting. So yes, like, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.